We're Batman at 89. Greetings, citizens of Gotham. Welcome to Batminute 89, the podcast where we analyse and investigate the 1989 movie Batman, 1 minute at a time. I am one of your hosts, John Parker.
And I am his ward, Niall McGowan.
That's never going to get old. I love that.
It's like I'm moving the papers through now. It's official documentation.
Did you have to pay to do that?
Oh, through the nose. But I feel the benefits are going to far outweigh the terrible mistake it'll inevitably turn out to be. So.
Is there a union for wards? Have you joined the union?
Well, I've not looked into it yet, but I certainly hope so.
Well, yes. So welcome to minute 13 of Batman. Well, this is quite an interesting minute here. A few things going on. The minute starts with Lando Calrissian overseeing a party planning committee, and it ends with the introduction of Vicky Vale.
Oh, Vicky Vale, yeah, photographer, Vogue Cosmo, yeah.
Oh, don't get me started on that. Oh my God.
Minute 13, it's a weird one in that there's actually like loads to talk about, but as like on screen, it doesn't seem as if this is going to be a big minute, but it's like there's actually like quite a bit in it. I thought anyway, yeah. So
I've got quite a few observations, but as usual, very few real notes. So you'll probably know by now. That's my game. That's my thing. But we start with a nice shot of the statues outside of City Hall again. You can see them fully here.
Yeah.
Love the art design on those.
I thought actually, like you're familiar with Arkham Asylum, the game.
Oh,
like,
very.
Yeah, and those ones beside the door of City Hall, the sort of really long, oppressive sort of things. Like it's like hooded figures holding swords. But like
they're the ones. They're beautiful.
Yeah. They're great. But they reminded me, like, it's not exact, but the very opening of Arkham Asylum has, like, it opens with, the bat symbol in the sky, and then it comes down over a statue that's like, it's like a hooded figure with, like, and it, like the arms are in shrouds and they go straight down. And it's a bit, it's the same kind of color, and it's a very similar sort of pose. They don't have a sword. Or it doesn't have a sword. The singular statue. The statues in the film have swords. But I thought like it seemed as if that was a bit like I can imagine that there may have been an intentional reference there because
I think so. Yeah.
Because it's not exact. I thought like maybe not. But then in Arkham City, they have like the Shrek cat head thing that you see in Batman Returns. Yeah. And that's not exact either, but it's like, it's close enough. It's like a nod.
It'll do.
So I thought, like, maybe there might have been a bit of influence there, but
yeah, I think possibly, at least, definitely. Well, next, of course, we see Gotham is 200, which is interesting just to know because I'm never sure how old the city's meant to be. Maybe it's gone in some of the older comics. I'm not sure, but
I'm sure like this is probably different. I don't know if that's exactly like. It's always been 200 years old. It never gets any older or younger in any of the comics. But
maybe it's an alternate dimension.
Don't get into all the comic book Earth 1, Earth 2, all that stuff.
Oh, I know. I mean, I've read a few of them, and yeah, it's a rabbit hole. That bloody hell.
Yeah, there's probably we could potentially have listeners who are like, "What do you mean you don't want to get into that?" It's like we're not gonna go in that far, unfortunately. So.
That's what the Patreon's for. No, there isn't a Patreon. Just donate $50. But yes, Harvey, he speaks here and says that the festival is $250,000 in the red, and they haven't seen one balloon.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, do you think he'd be satisfied if he did see one balloon? Would that just get rid of all of his fears? That's fine.
Like the mayor just yanks out a balloon. It's just like, here we go. Christ, I bought one down the street. Come on.
He's like, it's all fine then. It's fine.
But because we had the mayor, promising this whole business of hot dogs, balloons, the whole schmear. But apparently, the actor who plays the mayor, who we haven't really got into, Lee Wallace. He's
yes.
apparently a lot of people have commented that he looks very much like the mayor of New York at the time, Ed Koch, who apparently was
Okay.
was but, he actually does look very like him. I've looked up the picture. I've looked up Ed Koch, and yeah.
Oh yeah, he does. That's weird.
This is entirely coincidental, but because that actor is Lee Wallace, not to be confused with the director Tommy Lee Wallace, who did Halloween 3 and then the mini series of Stephen King's It, which of course is very memorable for the balloons that feature are frequently
it's
brought
all
up.
connected, all tied together.
What are the odds?
You can't escape it.
That's a wide one. That's just like I'm finding patterns in anything there. But
it's wide and it's deep, and you're on the ball, and you've got the knowledge.
But so $250,000 in the red. So it's like, what were they spending this money? What were they spending it on? That they don't even have one balloon. What did they buy?
Well, not balloons. I mean, I don't know. Would fireworks cost that? I need to contact the local council and see what this kind of thing costs. But I don't think the UK does parades. So.
I do have to wonder as well, like how much of this is the district attorney's territory to be worrying about the 200th anniversary of the and a police commissioner. What's he doing there? He's just like,
I did not even think about that. What the hell?
Just like the mayor's not getting these hot dogs and balloons at the time, and he's just like, I'm going to go to the police commissioner and the district attorney. I'm going to demand that this festival happens.
Maybe he's taking legal action. I'm not sure.
I think his whole thing was just to give them like this like extra kick in the ass about getting Grissom in prison. But even where are they walking out from? Like, what meeting were they in? Where he's just like, I'm going to catch up to them now. I'm going to tell them to do this.
I'm sure they were thrilled to hear it. Well, Mayor Borg as well. He confuses me here because he suggests that if you fill the square with people, presumably for the birthday celebration, he says then the businesses will come back. And I wasn't really... Why? Like, what... Why would businesses suddenly flock back? Oh, because they've put on a parade and there's some people hanging out. Yay. Yeah, or does he mean like vendors like on a cart?
I'm assuming that's what he meant. But even then, it's like, how long does this parade last? That like, if you just get everyone there for the parade, then like the vendors sitting at home will be like, oh, they'll just jump out of their chairs and run out the door to them. And they'll hear there's a parade going on. Oh, people actually showed up. I better go and get my cart assembled and get the stall built and get all my inventory in check and all that. But
exactly, I don't get it at all. Unless it's like meant to be a month-long celebration or a year-long celebration.
I mean, like when like Liverpool was the European capital of culture. And they were talking about it for like 8 years before it actually was the capital of culture. And then they keep bragging about it now since as well.
And then all they did during the year of the capital of culture was build a mall and move half of town to the other side.
It's like Paul McCartney played a concert or something as well. Like no one could get tickets to it because it's Paul McCartney. So
exactly, yeah.
It's like as if you got a small fortune to blow on him. And you can get there quickly. You could potentially see Paul McCartney that one time, but
would Paul McCartney make the businesses come back? Perhaps.
I was going to try to think of some sort of McCartney-esque pun to do with businesses, but I was like, I just completely drew a blank on that.
For some reason, I thought you said McCarthy-esque, which worried me for a minute.
But I was going to try to do like could he get the businesses back? Maybe I'd be amazed if he could, but like maybe I'm amazed. No, it doesn't work at all. So.
Welcome to Alphabetical. Wrong show.
Yeah. So backing away from the McCartney jokes.
Yeah, we're stepping on too many toes there, I think.
I don't think against Paul McCartney, don't get me wrong. So
No. Here in Liverpool, everybody hates Ringo. They don't really hate Paul. And yeah, you mentioned Mayor Borg, of course, being played by Lee Wallace.
Mm.
Now, when I was looking into the character of Mayor Borg, there wasn't a lot of information about him at all, like anywhere. The character's pretty much just for this.
Yeah, I think he was entirely created for the purposes of this film, basically.
Yeah, and it doesn't really do much, so that's not really a spoiler. But the actor, who you brought up, of course, again, Lee Wallace. Something I found interesting about him is he's played a mayor in 2 other movies. So this seems to be his thing, because he's in The Taking of Pelham 123 as the mayor, and then a movie called Daniel as the mayor. So he's a little bit typecast, maybe.
I think it might be because of his Ed Koch resemblance. The people like, this guy is born to play a mayor that resembles the actual mayor of New York.
That seems like a very limited field.
Well, I mean, I guess maybe that's why he's not worked all that much since. It's like, well, now Koch is out. We need a Giuliani lookalike to come in here. So, but I will say as well that you see, again, to go back to the other statues we see now, right behind Gordon and Dent, is this sort of Atlas-looking thing where it's like these sort of, again, shrouded figures with like a kind of globes hunched on their back. It's very oppressive looking, and again, like the set design and the color and everything really gives you a perspective on Gotham, like how it's very drained of color, and it looks very again these statues are just like they literally have the weight of the world on their shoulders, so it makes the city again look like a very oppressive, gloomy place to live. Which is,
I know they're not trying to make this analogy necessarily, but it looks really similar to like Italian art, like fascist art, like Mussolini. Have you seen that building that had a giant, like his giant face on it?
Well, I mean, it
looks like that kind of thing.
There are like there's a building, like we'll talk about it in the next few minutes, but outside like Grissom's window, you see giant stone faces. So it could actually be like, they were taking a nod from like fascist architecture to make things look really oppressive and horrible. It kind of almost makes you wish like, the Joker could color this place up a bit, like just because like everyone's so depressed. I mean, they need a guy. Like the town does legitimately need an enema. So
it needs a party man, one could say, which Mayor Borg's trying to be. And failing.
He's also trying to. They're setting up, setting up something for the third act, which is going to be this. This 200th anniversary thing's going to be a big deal. That's why we're putting a scene in about it. But he's also doing the old Jaws mayor thing of just like Gordon here's Gordon and Dent are both sort of. Well, this thing, people are scared to come out, and the mayor's just like, no, you gotta do it. Like again, just like I want those beaches open, like that kind of thing. He's got that going on.
It's very similar, slightly less dangerous, perhaps, but
well, they got the Jaws is one shark that will take out like what 1 or 2 people at a time. At the end of this movie, the Joker's taking out hundreds of people. It's like,
I suppose, but okay, by the end, yeah.
Spoilers for the end of the film, by the way.
No, you're not allowed to. No, nobody's seen this movie. We're releasing this before the movie comes out. That's how long we've been recording it. I just noticed that the guys in the background as well here raising the 200 banners, the prequel to 300. They're still raising them at this point in the minute, which is crazy. Like, are they having a great time? They're just having a ball. I
don't know, because I imagine like getting it straight and stuff must be like I had to go to a birthday party for my niece last week, and getting the banners hung straight on just a normal wall was just like, and I was just, the mother was like asking me if it was straight or not, and I was just kind of like, I think so, and then she would look at me like, of course it's not. What's the matter with you?
Yeah, I have no eye for things like that. And was she 200?
She was not. Well, my niece, no. She's got a couple of years to go yet, but
getting there.
Yeah, she's 7, so she's like, 193 years. She'll finally make it. We actually get Commissioner Gordon's first line. Like Pat Hingle finally gets to say something.
This memorable character.
Even he's got like this speaks to me a lot about the potentially the quality of policing in Gotham. Because the Commissioner Gordon we know from like Gary Oldman and the comics and the animated series is a real go-getter. It's a guy like he's pushing the envelope and getting things done.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
but this Gordon. So far, we've seen him at the Dent press conference, looking like he wanted to die. And here now, it's just sort of he's saying like, oh well, he seems sort of like, well, people won't come, Mayor. They're scared. And then the mayor's having to be like, well, maybe they wouldn't be scared when you get Grissom in that courthouse. It's like it seems as if like, yeah, this guy's really been letting the slack go. Just like, God, I fed up with commission and Jesus, just let me go already.
I think you're spot on with that.
Yeah, the whole downfall of this city is just like Pat Hingle's Gordon been like, quiet, I'm trying to get fired.
Yeah, he wants out. Damn it! Free the man. Free him.
Or maybe it's just his reaction is of genuine bemusement because he's like, I'm the police commissioner. Why are you talking to me about a party? And like, I've got things to do. I've got places to go.
People to arrest or fail to arrest.
I will say that we do see Gordon actually doing some police work in the film. We never see Harvey Dent. Like I think the next time we see him, he's in Bruce Wayne's house gambling, and then he disappears for like the majority of the film.
Sounds about
like,
right for.
Yeah, it's just like this Harvey Dent, card player, gambler, scoundrel. The people love him. Anyway, so that's all I've got for this bit of the minute.
No, same. I mean, the only other thing I have is simply an observation of Dent rocking the scarf. It's not quite a cape, but it'll do. It'll do. It'll serve its purpose.
He does also have that very red rose on one lapel, which, as we've seen throughout the film, that red's a signifier for danger. Could this be a foreshadowing of what's going to happen to that side of his?
100% yes. There's no way, because from the off, he was planned, to become Two-Face. Not in this film, but later on. So, and from everything we've seen with the red lights and things, definitely, there's no way that's accidental.
Yeah, I imagine it seems very intentional because it really, particularly against all the muted colors everywhere else in the scene, it really strikes the eye, that red rose. So yeah, potentially. Could be that's what they were going for. So,
well, nice attention to detail there. If it was you, Tim, thank you. I'm sure you're listening. So he's got a lot of free time these days. He's not really making many movies. Is he?
Well, he's got the money made. So
he gets up in the morning. He's having his breakfast. He pops on a Batminute 89. That's how I see his day. And a Beetlejuice minute. Yeah. But yeah, moving on with our minute. We cut now to an office. On first glance, it appears to be where like the newspaper emanates from, which of course it is. Spoiler.
Yep.
And I like it. We see Knox enter, and somebody says, "Welcome, Count Dracula. Had any sightings of Bigfoot lately?" Why am I still doing the Dracula voice? He doesn't do that. He just says, "Welcome, Count Dracula. Had any sightings of Bigfoot lately?" I really want him to be thought of as a vampire. That would be fantastic.
Well, the whole film they've been setting him up in very vampiric kind of because he's been done that Dracula cape motion we talked about, and whole like there was no blood left in the body and all that sort of stuff. So again a bat, man, vampire bat. So I guess that's what they're like. Bat.
Oh, see that? I love that. I want them to genuinely think he's a vampire, like not just think, oh, he's dressing as one. He's a goth.
That particular character though. This is a thing. Like I think it was switched about and replaced in the final film because in Sam Hamm's original draft, it specifies that a bespectacled colleague calls to Knox and says like, "Hey Knox, you got a visitor," and Knox replies with, "I'm real busy, Clark." Which would indicate that could have been Clark Kent. And we see this guy. Like, that's not in the finished film. But we do see that this guy does have the Clark Kent specs on. And then his friend who joins in is wearing a very Jimmy Olsen-esque bow tie. So it's just like the nod is there, but it's dead subtle. So
Yeah, I saw that when I read through the script, and I was wondering why it wasn't sort of played up here. I've got to think that's Tim Burton going, no,
yeah,
like,
see,
we're not having that.
it could have been potentially as well that like if they had people, him actually saying Clark and people putting together like, is that supposed to be Clark Kent? It would mean like if they did any other Superman films, then I'd be like, do we have to hire that guy? Are we saying that Clark Kent works in Gotham now? Like what? Yeah, they might have been like, no, it's too confusing. Just you can have a little subtle thing, but get rid of the actual saying
See,
of his name. So
I think you could get away with changing stuff a little bit. Like you could say Clark Kent works in Gotham. I don't think people would complain too much, would they?
mm.
You could come up with something. He's been transferred, or he's moved, or
yeah, I would say they didn't want to have to deal with screwing over that actor. Been like, you're not actually gonna play Superman. You realize?
No, Nicolas Cage is. So.
But then like I said, like, oh, they might have been afraid to do that, but they weren't afraid to be like, hey, Billy D, you ain't playing Two-Face no more. Get out.
See ya.
So it's not been a problem for the Batman creators, basically, to be like, you're not needed. Your services are no longer required, sir.
Well, I like as well as the minute progresses slightly, a few seconds. One of the extras there, he's holding a cup of coffee. He's really working that cup as well. He looks remarkably like Matt Damon. So I don't know if you've got the minute open, but he's astonishingly similar.
I'll see if I can get back to that exact guy. I didn't notice him at all, I have to say.
It might just be me being a freak. That is entirely possible. But then as the minute goes on as well, Knox, his colleagues are just insulting him left and right, aren't they? It's just brutal. They're calling his story garbage and how it's been buried in the paper.
This is something, though, I think, because I was making notes for future minutes today, and I want people to take note of them saying, oh, they buried your story, and then like that's what they do to garbage, and like the way they're mocking Knox as if he's a nobody, basically, like he's the lowest rung reporter they've got. Like, keep that in mind for something to come. Like I'll bring it up later, but it was something that I was like, wait a minute, but that'll be in future, very very soon, but in future episodes. So
I'll keep my own eye out or my ears out. Does that work? That's what we're doing. We're keeping the ears out.
But and then we get this bit I love where is Knox making his way through the newsroom and he gets called over and by the Gotham Globe cartoonist.
Oh yeah.
And he hands him this image of a Batman, which I really love. I love this. It's a bat in a business suit.
Yeah, like a pinstripe suit, isn't it?
That's a really good drawing. I used to have that as my Facebook profile picture for a while.
Well, now you've got to again when this episode comes out.
But I really love that. Just the actual drawing of it is great. But we should note then at the bottom of the page, though, that picture is marked as been drawn by Bob Kane.
Yeah. So is this character supposed to be called Bob Kane?
Yeah, he's specified in the script as being called Bob. So, but then maybe it's like, oh, was it Bob the Goon? Like, we got too many Bobs in this film. Don't call him Bob. But
Bob's everywhere.
But he has that great drawing, and then obviously the very well done rendition of a Batman. And he's, have you seen this man? It's like, oh, yes. But
well, I don't understand though how that picture is supposed to be insulting Knox.
It seems like a lot of effort went into it too. Like in the middle,
it's lovely.
In the middle of a workday, no less. Like it's
what's he doing with his time? Get to work.
Yeah, unless they were literally like, no, we're gonna like we published that story, but we're gonna mock the reporter, and we're actively gonna publish this cartoon about it as well. So
90% of the pages that day were just insulting Knox.
It's like this, jackass. You've been seeing him with a silly head, bad tie, no style, Knox. But and that's why like Eckhart's reading the paper. It's like, oh, I can't get rid of it. I can't get this guy out of my head. Come on.
Well, I mean, they might be being a bit a bit nasty to Knox, but I really want to see Batman in this suit. Someone needs to at least reference this, or like Bruce Wayne should wear that suit.
Oh, no, it'll be a great. If someone could pull it off as like a cosplay, that would be amazing. If you could be the Batman in the business suit, you'd need.
That's your next Halloween costume sorted then.
Oh, I don't think I have the budget required to make the giant, the giant bat head. But someone who like the Holly Conrads of the world need to step up and make that the cosplay. So, but I should also mention the actor playing Bob Kane, because I was a minute I was like, is this actually Bob Kane? And no, it's an actor called. No. Yeah, it's an actor called Dennis Lil, who UK viewers and potentially Americans as well would know from a lot of UK TV. Shockingly, he was in Doctor Who.
Oh my God, who? Nobody is in that. I thought I would have remembered him.
He's in Blackadder, and then he's most prominently known for playing Cassandra, Rodney's love interest, her dad in Only Fools and Horses.
I was hoping you were going to say he played Cassandra.
I think we would remember him if that was. But Alan Parry, the character name. Although I was just saying off mic before we recorded, because it's in a weird coincidence. This will give the listeners an insight into our lives, but
we don't have lives outside of this. What are you talking about?
But this weekend we're going to a cocktail party, and John has been for some reason over the past few weeks has been talking about it and bringing up Old Fashions. And been like,
they're the best cocktail. That's why.
But it's just weird. It's like every other time it's mentioned, I'll just see something. John Parker, Old Fashions. It's like what?
It's become my like catchphrase now. I'll have to work it into this show somehow.
But the thing is, at the time, I remember thinking like a couple of weeks back, it's like he's like Cassandra's dad in Only Fools and Horses with the jelly deals, because Cassandra's dad was always going on about like, oh, I just want to knees up and some jelly deals, and like everyone would comment, it's like he keeps talking about bloody jelly deals, and I was like, yeah, John, he's with these Old Fashioned, he's like Alan Parry with the jelly deals, and then like just making my final notes for this minute was like, who was that guy anyway? Like, who played Bob Kane? And then looking up, like, it was Cassandra's dad from Only Fools and Horses. What are the odds of that?
Connected again, everything connected. And if you want to help support the show, feel free to buy me an Old Fashioned in a bar and send it my way. That's fine. Just slide it along the table. Yeah, give me a little wink. Back onto Batman. When Knox walks off, I love it with a smile. He says to he calls Bob Kane there. He says, "What a."
Yeah.
And normally that would infuriate me about somebody because he's being a dick. But Knox has managed to win me over a little bit with that. I thought that was quite a.
I frequently use that line like anytime, like not to people's faces, but like, if I do encounter someone I find a bit dickish, I have on occasion like walked away with a smile, going, "What a." Although I think what he's done there though is like it's all in good fun, because he's like the cartoonist is taking the out of him, but even that's like it's done with a little chuckle and stuff, and he's all like, oh yeah, get more gore into the fangs, and like, you know, and then Cassandra's dad there is just sort of like and then we say like, what a he probably heard him, he's like, oh, it's Knox, you know, that's the way he is. But
yeah, I get the impression as well that he has to put up with this every day, though. It's like, this is just normal. He's like, okay, fine.
I do have to note before we move on as well, the backdrop to Bob Kane's desk, because he's got a lot of stuff hung up there. But none of it seems to be on par with the with that drawing he's handed Knox. That seems to be like the best he's ever done. Because in the background, he's got a very crudely drawn, I think it's Bullwinkle from Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Is that what it's meant to be?
Yeah, because I think, I've never seen Rocky and Bullwinkle, but I'm assuming Bullwinkle is the moose. So
yes, I think so. Again, I haven't really seen it. It wasn't so big over here, was it?
No, it wasn't a thing at all, no. But, or it wasn't in our generation, anyway.
No,
but,
probably now there's a CGI cartoon of it or something.
Oh, I mean, I had the Robert De Niro film a couple of years back, but it's been.
I've tried to block that from my memory. I've only seen the trailer, and it was bad enough. There's probably loads of people who love that film now.
I don't know. I think it's been lost. It's been lost in the sands of time. It's just like no one cared enough. No one cared enough to redeem it. So, but yeah, so it seems to be it's crudely colored in, and it looks really bad. And then there's another thing that looks like it could be like a quadruple decked burger, or like a something to do with mining. It could be like various layers of land or something. It's really vague as to what the hell it is. But
yeah, I can't make that out. If you zoom in, it just looks like a mess. So it's pointless.
I think, not only was Bob Kane, like, he really was like pouring his heart and soul into that Batman. Batman in the business suit cartoon seemed to be his pride and joy for that day. Anyway, so.
Well, it's lovely. It's good work there. A+. Knox now, though, he spies at his desk. I believe it's his desk, actually. Some disembodied legs, which is quite grotesque. We have a murder scene. And then he confirms his status as a pervert by simply saying, "Hello, legs."
Mm.
But then the legs talk, so that's also unsettling.
Thing is, this, in watching this scene now, it really strikes me as like if this film had been released today, we'd just be getting like Facebook posts a couple of weeks later saying, "We need to talk about the sexism in this. Oh, this scene is problematic. You can't introduce a female character this way. This is lurid." It's like, we need to talk about the rampant sexism in Batman.
He is very sexist. The way he talks to her, but at the same time, I mean, it's kind of established his character. He's not a villain, but you don't love him either. He is a bit. Well, he's a bit of a dick, like he called that guy.
Yeah, like it's been established that he's a bit annoying, and he's not well liked, and then people kind of make fun of him. And now we add on a little bit of like, oh, he's a bit sleazy as well. So
yeah, not the best package, to be honest. But for some reason, you do kind of like him. I don't know. You like to watch him.
Yeah, and to be fair as well, like Vicky Vale, the disembodied legs.
They have a body attached, as we now find out.
But they prove to be a very capable, strong, independent woman. So.
Oh, I need to hear you belt that out. Come on, some power.
Oh no, not today. My throat from all the podcasting. I can't.
Well, yes, she with her very stylish, enormous glasses here.
Before we move on to the actual
introduction. I'll back up.
Because I got this. I went to look into. I noticed two things in this. Because we see her. She's reading a newspaper. In the shot between, you see the back of that newspaper. Cuts back to Knox, and then it cuts back to the paper again. She's reading a completely different paper. That second shot, like it's not the same thing.
How the hell did I miss that? Let me see. Oh my god! Oh, maybe we're meant to believe she's folded it over or something.
I don't know.
No.
in that space of time, it doesn't seem all that plausible. But I also started looking in to see. What the headlines were on this thing, and it took a bit of screwing my eyes, but I think I made out.
Oh, good, because I tried and had difficulty because I have terrible eyes.
But so I've got this now because it's not well lit here. It's in my handwritten notes, but basically, yeah, the main headline above the picture of the parade with the American flag. It seems to say, from what I can make out, is ailment hailed in rain by city throngs at parade, gets citizenship decree, semicolon, he welcomes a U.S. Capitol in Mexico. And like that's a hell of a long headline as well.
That is not snappy.
Yeah, it's like there's no ring to that at all. Like that's plus it's like that's the entire story as well. It's like that's the opposite of clickbait. That's just like you've given me the whole story and I was bored halfway through the headline. So
I'll tell you what though, I would prefer that over the clickbait.
Yeah. Oh no, I do despise clickbait. But
Give me the story, damn it.
we do see another one on the one of the other pages. This one is U.S. asks Soviet singular to clarify its aims in Korean parley. So that's a bit of
well, that singular is correct in a way, because the I'm trying to think what the word would be. The leadership of the Soviet Union are the Supreme Soviet.
Oh, right.
So you would call them the Soviet, I think.
Oh, well, I think I was about to lay into them, but there you go.
But it's a bit. A lot of people wouldn't know that though. So to put that in a newspaper is.
Well, to be fair, I don't think anyone. I think I may have been the first person to actually go and try to figure out what that headline was.
It's a bit specific though to be mocking the Supreme Soviet as a like. It's like I suppose you could say like when people mock Parliament as a unit. Yeah.
Although I would say perhaps they should have put the Soviet, just to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did notice as well on the top, left hand corner in the back is a picture of some guy in a black polo neck, and I did think that this seemed to me to be like the way there was potential reasons why they didn't have Clark Kent in that little cameo, but they give you a little nod with Bob Kane, and then it seemed to me like, would that not have been a prime opportunity to have like Bruce Wayne on the back of the paper? Because it just looks to be like some random guy. But like if it was me, I'd been like, I'll get a shot of Keaton in there, and I'd be like, yeah, Bruce Wayne's a big public figure. Like he'd be in the paper all the time and stuff. So
yeah, it would establish the character quite well. Well, you could even if it was these days, you'd do like an Easter egg little cameo appearance from someone who's going to be in another movie, wouldn't you? You'd have like Wonder Woman would be referenced on the back of the paper there for the eagle-eyed viewers to go, oh my god.
Although it's in saying that though, I think I've in my own head I've disproven my own point is that Vicky Vale doesn't know who Bruce Wayne is when she first meets him. She doesn't recognize him. She doesn't know that this guy is Bruce Wayne.
I think it's because though, as we'll find out more in the next minute, she cares a lot more about her art as a photographer. She's not really into like celebrity, and not that he's a celebrity, but you know what I mean. He's living the high life in Gotham. She doesn't care about things like that.
Yeah, although he was part of the getting Harvey Dent elected, seeing as he had a chair on his next to him during his big speech. But maybe because Bruce Wayne doesn't show up to that kind of stuff, and he's living this high life that she's just like, I don't care about that guy. But or maybe Bruce Wayne is like they've gone a different route with him in this film, in that like, oh yeah, he's a big name, but he's not out and about all that much. That, like, maybe he's not the supermodel dating lad about town that Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne would.
As we'll find out later, or not find out in a way. There's not much of that really going on in this movie. You don't get that vibe from Bruce.
Yeah, no.
Like you pretty much you like Bruce in all of his forms.
Yes, very, very much so. But
well, I thought something interesting here as well. In the original script, the first script, she's not reading the paper here, but rather she's asleep with a giant hat covering her face. Yeah. She's sat in the chair asleep. And I thought that's a really strange way to introduce a character.
I don't think it's that bad. Although, like, it depends though, like how much we want to get into Vicky Vale in this minute, or should we like wait?
We'll save a lot of it, I think. Because she's in the next minute a lot.
Well, the next minute is entirely just Vicky Vale and Knox, basically. So, and we are running on a bit. So, But as you said there earlier, she the paper comes down and she introduces herself as Vicky Vale. So
yes, it's revealed.
Yeah, we got the first look at Kim Bay City Roller. So that's what I gave up trying to pronounce the. I gave up trying to pronounce the name. Just calling her that now. So
I'm just going to shorten it to Bay City. So we're just going to call it Bay City from now on every time. But that's all my notes anyway for this one.
Yep, that's me for this minute anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, so make sure to message us online. You can join in the conversation with us on Facebook. Just look up BatMinute89, that'll be fine. And also our Listeners Society. And then tweet us, Instagram us, tumble with us.
Tumble us, yes.
Tumble together. We'll tumble as one. And something I never mention, I always forget to mention, I think I've only done it once, is that you can review us on iTunes.
Oh, yeah.
So make sure to do that because that's very helpful, apparently.
See, I don't know, I shouldn't mention that I don't use iTunes on the show. That's probably a bad idea. So.
They're our overlords. We must praise be to iTunes.
Let's forget I ever said that. So.
But yes, join us again. We'll have minute 14, the exciting minute 14. Only on BatMinute89.
Next time, pulchritudinous photojournalist. As Gotham Globe's most gregarious gazetteer greets a gorgeous globe-trotting gal, what target has she set in her sights right off the bat? Find out next time. Same Bat Pod.
Different Bat Minute.